Yo, Guda, is this fucking mic on? Man, welcome to the GINN podcast. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Yes, sir. Welcome to the GINN podcast. What up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the GINN podcast. This is your host, G. If you're viewing this right now, I appreciate you clicking on this link. This podcast platform is based out of San Antonio, Texas. Basically, this platform is life stories, advice, current events, and one of the main things I like to focus on is artists, rappers, musicians. Obviously, when you come into like the whole podcast gang and just, I guess, life in general. Music is a huge thing. You got shit that you can relate to. You got shit that you can go to the club to. You got shit that you can bump to on a lonely ass night. But yeah, on this episode, well, first of all, I'm pretty sure this episode is going to go live before some music drops, which we'll get into later. So that should be out. Go ahead and hit the link in the description. We'll talk about all that just right now. But yeah, shout out to y'all for watching the last episode. And we'll get right into it. Ja.
What's up? I'm back.
What's up? Yeah, so if you haven't seen the last episode with Ja, she was actually our first guest in this new studio, which is wild to even say. Because that was, let's see, we're in September and that was May, I believe.
Yeah.
Somewhere around May, April. I'm sure it was May because it was, the lease started in May 1st.
Yeah.
So it was a little after May, the first week of May. And she had dropped Notice, which was a single. And I'm trying to remember how I actually came across it. No, you know what? You hit the DMs.
Yeah.
We went
definitely slid in the DMs like I always do.
No, yeah, she sent me that. Oh, no, actually, she just trying to be on the platform. And then I popped off and looked at her, the music. And then obviously, it's
a done deal.
Yeah, it's a done deal after that. Because if you listen to the music, if you're familiar with Ja, you know the type of presence she actually brings when she steps in or just records. It's fucking crazy. But how's that been for you? Because the last time you were here, you dropped a couple more songs, and then you kind of
dipped.
Yeah, you kind of dipped.
I said, "Fuck it."
So what was that for? Like, what kind of made you just say like, "Hey, let me chill with the music"?
It wasn't because I wanted to. I really wanted to hit hard as much as I could, but teams started to fall apart. People around you started to fall apart. Like everything that I didn't want to happen happened.
Damn.
With relationships, romantically, professionally, musically, like all of it. I switched up my job. I switched up everything. So I had to step away because if I didn't, I feel like the negative energy that I was, being exhausted with would have came out on the music, and I don't believe that's fair to you guys. So
no, yeah, I'm with it, and I think the biggest thing is the team part. Because coming from me, when I get into conversations with people that don't have 5+ friends that been in a friendship for 10+ years, it's weird.
Boy,
it's weird for me. So I personally have that. So it's just conversations are definitely different when someone doesn't have that. Not even to say the friendship part, but when you have a team professionally, shit got to be on point. Because there's a lot of things that can go wrong if someone's not on point.
And it kind of got messed up because friendships were mixed with professionalism. So it was like, dude, I'm your friend. You know what I'm going through. But dude, you know that we need to be on point with certain things and, make sure everything is precise. And so that mixture just wasn't getting to where it needed to be.
I feel that, man. And I couldn't, like with this, it's a little different because most of the stuff other than the audio is kind of ran by me.
Yeah.
The audio is edited by somebody else. When I first started, it was by me, and it was a boatload of shit that I had to worry about.
Yeah.
But when I took that when I took that load off, it just I can do more shit with the editing. I can do more shit here. It was just a
Mm-hmm.
lot easier because the audio thing is the hardest part. I think when
Tell
it
me
comes
about it.
to not even podcasting. I'm sure it is when it comes to fucking music. It's
Yep.
just so much shit you have to worry about. But when what was the whole situation with? Did like social media have a huge part with that, or it was just more so like friendships and just personal life that you had to take some time off?
I don't want to say yes, but truly it was. Because at the end of the day, we all compare ourselves to everyone that's around us, the people that we're competitive with. You know what I mean? So when you're working at a certain pace, but seeing someone else moving faster than you start to discourage yourself. You know what I mean? And you start to second guess yourself, or you start to second guess the people around you. Are they worth being around you because they're not doing what the other people are doing, or things like that? It's stupid, but yeah, I
Nah,
believe it is.
yeah,
But also, the pandemic forced everybody to look at life differently. So, a mixture of things, but social media did play a part.
yeah. No, I get you because you, man. There's this quote that someone said. I don't remember how it goes, but basically, you kind of, if your friends or if your family or if you're professional people that kind of not doing essentially some things that you're doing, whether if it's goal wise or
Mm-hmm.
anything of that sort, you kind of want to reevaluate who you're fucking with.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because that plays a huge part. It,
Yeah.
it, it really does. Because you can feed off of each other. Whether if it's you making music and someone else, you have another buddy that's making music too.
Yeah.
They fall off a little bit. They ain't really in tune with the music. They don't really want to do nothing. They're kind of in a rut.
Yeah.
And they see you going hard.
Boy.
Yeah, that just lit a fucking flame under their ass. And
Yep.
then they get back into it. So, man, it goes hand in hand. The same thing when it comes to the, I guess, just friendships in general. People just need to be, man. I wouldn't even say just it's hard to actually pinpoint how social media really affects. It's not hard, but it's just
It plays with your mind, dude. Like it's
yeah,
a mind game that you have to learn how to overcome. Because
yeah.
I even fall into it sometimes. I'll look at certain, rappers from San Antonio that I'm actually cool with. And then I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck. Like when I see them do something that I wanted to do or I was planning to do, like shout out to King Kali. That's like a OG to me. But I was thinking about dropping a freestyle to one of Drake's songs from CLB and he did it first. And I was like,
Hey.
fuck, should I still do it? It's
Yeah.
all love, but those are the type of thoughts that you have to run through
Yeah.
and you have to decide like what's authentic, what's you, or are you doing it because other people are doing it, or or do you not want to do it because somebody else did it?
Yeah.
Like
I,
things
the,
like that.
that too is that's probably the biggest thing that I've noticed is like you don't know what's real or fake.
Oh my gosh, it's
Like you
ugly.
you really don't know if someone is at a certain place and it's actually them. And I know we're talking off air about the certain situation, which
Mm-hmm.
I'll mention right now, but like you really can't you can't, and it's even harder when you know those people in real life.
Oh my
Whether
goodness.
if you like went to high school with them, work with them, just
Yeah.
family friends, it's like, and then you go to functions and you're like, did you really? Were you really there? Like,
Yeah.
did you really do some shit like that? Because
Yeah.
when you see them in person, they kind of give off this vibe that they're not really like that.
Yeah.
You just never know. But the situation that I really came across, and I was talking to Ja F. Air, was um, I had come across, or a friend of mine showed me this person that was, I believe she lived in California, and she had like Teen Vogue in her bio. She was kind of just this influencer that was at the Met Gala. Met Gala was maybe a week or two ago, and it's this huge event with celebrities. And she was posting things as if she was there. And I was at first, I'm not really in tune with social media like that. Like if you post something, I really don't give a fuck if you're there or not. But it caught me off guard whenever I was whenever this person was showing me these videos and these Instagram stories, these pictures, these posts, and then she goes over to another person's Instagram profile, and it's the same thing. So you trying to figure out like who's copying who at what point.
No, honestly.
But I think, I mean, at the the person that's kind of, I guess, impersonating the other one or using the information, I kind of figured out who's who, because you can just tell like the quality is different. You can tell what's screen recorded, what's not. You can tell what's like compressed and like just
Yeah.
all type of shit. You can just
Photoshop be
yeah.
be showing itself
There's just
sometimes.
all type of shit you got to worry about. But I don't know. Have you ever seen anything like that on social media where you're just like, fuck?
Dude,
I know you're not really like that.
no, it's not even that. It's okay. So this is really similar. I talk about it all the time on socials.
Yeah, yeah.
It plays hand in hand. I know this person personally that would literally wait until I get out of relationships with certain girls and they try to get at them. But again, these are girls that have met her in person, so they know how she talks, they know how everything. She specifically tries to talk like me. She started dressing like me, all that
What?
stuff. Like, she told a lot of people that she had a certain illness and she was going to pass at a certain time. Like, it's a whole bunch of crazy stuff. Like, it just to get sympathy from people. And I don't like that. I really don't. Like, it's one thing when you're trying to like get people to pay attention to you, but when you're trying to reel in girls to like be with them, how are you going to be in a relationship with somebody and you're not showing them your true self? Like,
Yeah.
that's kind of weird.
I'm not too sure if this is it, but obviously we follow each other on social media, and it was maybe a month or two ago, and you were putting someone on blast.
Oh,
I don't know if it was this person.
what was it? What did I say? I probably posted it and deleted it, so you're snitching on me, but it's okay. Like,
I don't remember. I doubt it was
I
this
feel
situation.
like I know exactly what you're talking
I
about.
would have to look it up. I can.
Was
probably
I
send
wearing
you.
a black hat?
I don't remember, but you were just basically kind of putting this girl on blast, and kind of, I think you were tagging. I can probably cut this out if this is too much.
No,
but
no,
like,
keep going.
you were tagging her boyfriend. You're like,
Oh,
you're like,
okay, no. Let's get this clear, okay? Ja has a lot of exes. Cool, whatever.
yeah.
One thing I don't play about is my exes. Even if we end on bad terms, don't come in my DMs speaking reckless about my exes. I don't care who they are, what they did to you. I still have loved them, so I will always love them. Don't be in my DMs about that. So I don't know if you want to cut that out or not, but nah, it wasn't that. This girl was in my DMs like saying that she was going to kill my ex. Like, it was crazy.
I didn't see that part.
Yeah,
I don't know
no.
if you
I
mentioned
didn't
that.
post it. I didn't post because hey, like I didn't know if my ex wanted that out or anything like that. But yeah, she was definitely, and she thought that we were still together, I guess. And so she was like, "Oh, she's cheating on you." And I'm like, "Sis, I know my ex told you that we're not together." And she was like, "No, that's lies. You're just trying to save her." And I'm like, "Whatever, bro."
Yeah.
And then she was like, "Well, I'm pulling up to her house and I'm gonna kill her and I'm gonna slide." And da, 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 da. I was like, "What?" Like, and the craziest part about it was like 5 a.m. when she texted me this. Mind you, I was working overnight, so I'm up. But she was like getting mad because I wasn't texting her back. And I'm like, first off, it is early in the morning. Like, can you have some respect?
Yeah. No, that's
Yeah, nah.
hilarious because that's literally, I saw this shit in the morning because I just obviously refreshing the TL in the morning, and then I was like, oh, whoa.
And I don't do stuff like that. I really don't.
That's the crazy part because I mean, after that, this was maybe so I had been following for about 3 or 4 months now. Chill, talking about music, do your thing, quotes, all that. Like, it's never this. It's never tension type shit.
Don't come for the people that I've loved at one point. And like, come on, man. Like,
it was
that's so tasteless. And to get me out of my character, because I have anger issues. I have really bad anger issues where it was diagnosed. So it's like when you hit a nerve, it's so hard to turn me back off. Like, it took like a lot of people to be like, yo, calm down. Cause I was like, bro, we can handle this. Like, that was another thing I wanted to mention going back on topic. It's okay to cover up certain parts of you because the world doesn't need to see everything. Like, I have some, excuse my language, but I have some hood ass cousins. You know what I mean? Like, I have like real ass shooters that would like go off.
Yeah.
Like, and I was raised in that, but I didn't like how that looked. So I got away from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's okay to hide certain parts of you. But when you start to like play along with something that you've never was around, it's kind of weird to me. Because like I do admit, like that part of me that you saw, I don't like showing that part, like getting out of character, getting upset, cussing people out. I don't like doing that because I love everybody at a certain extent. Like I have a respect for everybody at a certain extent. But once you cross that line, nah.
Nah,
Nah.
it just caught me off guard, and just because I mean I didn't. For me, when I see things like that, a person like you, when I know you personally, I've had you on the podcast platform. I know it takes a tremendous amount of fucking energy out of
Boy,
yourself to
I can
do that.
I can show you the DMs. Like
Oh
it
no, you're
was
good.
like multiple DMs.
Nah, you're
Like,
good.
bro,
I
because at
believe
first
it.
I was like, I'm gonna ignore it. And then she just kept going. And I'm like,
That's
what? And she was going back. Bro, me and my ex weren't together for like a year. She was going back to like old posts and like liking it and commenting on it.
just
Like,
being petty.
that is so disgusting.
Just being petty.
So disgusting.
Yeah, that's weird. That's why, man, I was talking about this on my Twitter the day before yesterday, and I have had my phone on do not disturb for the past 5 years, and I recently just changed all my notifications off all social media, I believe a month ago. So, and the only reason why I turned them off is because I'm on social media regularly. So if I see like a message or if I see a notification, 9 times out of 10, I'll see it like 10, 20, 30 minutes max after it's there. So it's not like I don't see none of this shit. So
No, of course.
but the thing that I hate is when I'm like in a function or trying to create something or just working and then just notifications are popping off, and it's different. But I started with do not disturb because I used to work at Apple, the retail store, in 2017. Whenever I was with a customer, I would get notifications on my Apple Watch, and they would just be blowing me up, so I couldn't
Jeez.
focus. And then it just stuck. It just stuck. So it
Makes
just
life
came
easier.
Yeah, it makes a whole lot easier. But I
I'm
mean,
gonna start that. I'm gonna do that.
yeah. I mean, but you can have. So I was saying too, like I have favorites. So like if my buddies or my family text me, FaceTime me, like I'll get it right away. But if other people text me, like I probably won't see it right away because it's
I
just
gotta
gonna
do
be
that.
it's just gonna be in the message thread. So it's different when you start putting things like that. It's less stressful. I'm telling you, people. That's just my recommendation. What I do, so I recommend it. So I mean, try it out. Let me know how it fucking how that works out for you. But that's probably the reason why I kind of switched to that the last month. I mean, because that shit, social media is weird because you never, like I said, you never know what's real, and then on top of that, you have it's different, man. It's
No,
just
I feel
different.
it. But I admire that about you. Cause like you have this sense of energy where like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but
Yeah.
you're so untouchable mentally. Like I feel
Yeah.
I feel like you're just like, yep, it is what it is. And like it's so hard to get to that. And I know I DM'd you because I was like, bro, like I really want to link with you personally
Yeah.
because you are who you hang around and like you give off that source of energy where it's just like grind hard and enjoy life. And that's like super beautiful, bro.
Man, I'll be first to tell you, man, I was never like that. This only happened like 2 years ago, maybe even less than that. Right before I started the podcast, probably. But and I had a podcast, it's not on my platform, but it was on a different platform.
Yeah.
And I think the exact thing that I said was I was a shitty person for the longest time ever. Shitty person. I was living, man, there was one point in time where I was living like 3 lives. I was lying to people. I was lying to my friends. I was lying to my family. I was lying to my fucking girlfriend at the time, girlfriends, however you want to fucking call it. So it was different when you start to change your mindset to not do any of these things. And this is a big thing that worked out for me. I was in relationships for the past 10 years from 2010, 2011 to about, 2020, right before the pandemic. And it was a relationship after a relationship. Granted, these relationships are 1 year, 2 year, three, I think 3.5 years was the max for me. And it was never time to grow. Like I never had time to mentally think about what was happening in my next relationship my previous relationship that didn't work. And then what did I want to do for the next one to make it work?
Yeah.
It never was that. I'd never had that time. So when 2020 hit, pandemic hit, man, man, I didn't talk to a girl for damn near like 10 months.
Oh, I feel that.
Like I didn't nothing. Like I would get DMs. I would obviously. I mean, I'm not even gonna front. I wouldn't reply, or I would just say thanks, and I'm
And
not
keep it
even.
moving.
Yeah, not even like disrespectful to these girls because obviously they're beautiful girls, but it wasn't in my character. I really had to. I forced myself. That's the easiest way.
What drove you to the point of realizing it was a problem?
Being 40 and single,
Mm.
being 40 and single and no kids, and like I've always told myself, maybe you can test this a little bit more. Like I didn't have a dad when I was younger, so I never wanted to be anything like him.
Yeah.
So when I think about 40 and I think about being a shitty person, lying, living lives that you're not supposed to be living, I mean, no one wants to be like that.
No, of course.
And I think that's what switched my mind. Like, how are you gonna live this life? And let's just say I did have kids. How you still gonna live this life? Like you can just be that's the thing we're going back to when you're portraying a life that you really don't live.
You don't.
You're showing your kids like they have this fancy ass life and that everything's good with their mom, and you're over there doing your mom dirty. Like,
tell me about it.
Tell me about it. So I think that was the biggest thing for me. But I appreciate the comment you said in the beginning. It takes a lot. I'll be honest. It takes a lot. It takes a good group of friends. I talk to my family a lot, especially my mom. She's literally my best friend.
Yeah.
We've talked about things that I shouldn't even be talking about that to her. But one thing too, as well, is whenever I did come to her about the whole situation with me living in line, and man, it took a lot of courage to actually tell somebody that, because it was you just feel embarrassed. That's probably the easiest way to put it. You just feel embarrassed because, like, how could I get to this point where I was just doing people so fucking dirty and being so selfish?
Do you even remember why you did people dirty? Because I know sometimes, like, people are like, you did this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't even fucking remember. Like, it's a blackout moment.
Most of the things I do remember, I would say being selfish. And there was this point in time in my life. So it was 2013. I had got into a rollover accident.
Jeez.
And it was right after I graduated. And I told myself, I was like, I'm just going to live this YOLO life. Like, it was to the point where I was like, I could have died. So now I'm going to do everything I can, no matter who gets in my way.
Damn.
And it transferred to my family and friends and to my girlfriend or girlfriends through for the next 9 years or 7 years, whatever. And it was just constant. And I think that's why that's a whole nother conversation. You got to lie by where you're at. You got to figure out when's the next time you're going to see him and what lie comes after that. Like, there's so much lies, lie after lie after lie.
Turn off your do not disturb without it saying that it's turned off. Yeah. Bro, I know.
Locations was a huge thing too.
Oh my gosh.
I had locations on, and
That's sickening. Relationships could be so toxic without it, like without you even trying to be toxic. Nobody tries to be toxic, but without you trying to be controlling, I feel like Apple has like made us all controlling in a way. They were like, you can have access to this. No, we don't need access.
I think they have good intentions, but people just use it for that. But I mean, I think the toxic things just comes with a lot of insecurities. There's some things that some shit that you can't really
control.
Yeah, control. Like it's out of your hands. But 9 times out of 10, my personal opinion is when it comes to toxic relationships, it's just insecurities on one part, both parts. And that just comes with just loving yourself. Because I think when you do love yourself, there's less care about what the other person's doing because you're that confident that no one else is going to take what's yours.
No, and I heard a saying that said, you can't love anyone else differently than how you love yourself. So like you're the pinnacle of love. So if your self-love is down here, you're not going to love anybody else higher than that. Like you're going to love people lower or just at that exact mark. So you have to, and I'm working on it myself. Like I realize I've dealt with so many insecurities for the same reasons. Like I was in so many relationships on and on and on and on. And I never got time for myself. And I never got time to look at myself properly because I would take the image that my exes would give me And I'd be like, well, they said that was me, so that's me. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I never got to take off that clothing that they left and figure out who I was beneath what they said.
Yeah. There's a lot of shit that goes into relationships, and that's probably the huge part. Like you don't figure out what went wrong in your actual past relationship so you can fix the next one. But the shit, let me remind because I will.
Oh, I said loving someone
Okay, yes.
is gonna be
Yes.
at that mark.
I think that's why I help people so much is because I know what people are capable of. Like if I can do it, why can't somebody else?
No, of course.
I know it takes time, I know it takes work, passion, like there's all these things that can do it, but I mean, if you have the time, like I'm sure you can do it. Like there's not there's not anything that I can't do that other people can't. And I think that's a huge thing when it comes to like these celebrities, these people that just have an enormous amount of wealth, financial just shit that you kind of not even like the cars or jewelry, not even I'm not even saying any of that, but just freedom when it comes to not worrying about money. Cause I think that's the huge thing when you want to get older. Like you want to be financially free. And I think that's when I do look at certain people and they have that, or at least I think they have that because they might be lying. But I feel like they're telling the truth. I mean, they're kind of honest people, but I think that's kind of where it goes back to is like I know what I'm capable of, so I'm just trying to help people be capable of something else. And
No, of course.
if that's being a better artist, if that's being a better person, a better husband, a better fucking wife too, like it all comes hand in hand.
Hell yeah.
What shit, he caught me off guard with that relationship shit.
Oh, my bad.
But I mean, that's the truth, and that's kind of the basis of this actual platform. Is like, man, for me, it's been a long time coming, and I'll be the first to say, like, it was never like this. It was definitely not like this, man. But it was shit. If you enjoyed that little side note we went into, man, shout out to y'all. But you are releasing something.
Oh gosh, yeah.
When this launches,
Yep.
which is pretty fucking crazy, because I've been peeping your music for some time now, and this is probably I'll be very honest, this is probably the best work possible. And what I was gonna say to you off air is when I downloaded this music, I hit shuffle, and you Drake inspired for sure, and I was going through the music and there was some melodies, there was some bars in there, but I was really waiting for that thumper that I can just like, this is hard.
Yep.
And it was weird, so weird. So the song that I'm referring to is Language.
Yeah.
And that's the last song I heard, and I was like, this is probably the best one that really like.
Jeez.
This is probably the one that I've like fucked with the most. Granted, all of them are fire, but I was waiting for that because you man, you did your thing on that one. That one had some good bars. Some the placement was crazy. So
it was different.
It was definitely different.
It was different. I don't know if I'm gonna still because I gave you low key. Those are just like the references for one. So I want to put that out there. That one is pretty much close to done. But I don't know if I should call that Language. I don't. We just named it Language because okay. Let's back up real quick. So I'm dropping an album called "And That's Okay." Call it A Talk. That's just a little short name for it. But I'm dropping it September 24th, and that's the anniversary of Nothing Was the Same. And so me and my team that's left, we decided to sample Nothing Was the Same and make my own about this chapter of my life because September 24th is actually my birthday where I turned 24.
Hey, okay.
So it plays with a lot of things that's going on because right now I'm at a period of my life where I'm realizing nothing has been the same. And I've had to tell myself, and that's okay. And Language is sampled by the song Language on Nothing Was the Same. And that was the funnest song I made. Like that was the most fun I ever, did. Like I wanted something different. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted the bass to be that TikTok bass that everybody likes, you know, like if you wanted to make the edits to it and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I wanted that to just stick. And everybody that's put their ear to the album, they've all been saying the same thing. That one, the intro and the outro.
Outro's hard too.
Yeah.
Outro's fucking hard. And then I think the other one that kind of resonated with me the most, because I mean, I was talking about it earlier, is just Daddy's Little Girl. And at first I thought you were talking about a relationship. And then I looked at the title and I was like, let me run it back. And then I kind of listened to it a little bit more. And then I listened to it again the next week. And I was like, yeah, this is definitely, there's you can see the transition you've made over time
Yeah.
when it comes to I guess the trauma that you had
Yeah.
from not I guess not having your father.
Yeah.
So it's yes, you could talk about it though.
I did that purposely. I like how you said you thought it was about a relationship. Because I keep hearing people say like, "Oh, you only talk about relationships. You only talk about relationships," and I kind of like dug deep into why I only talk about relationships and why my failed relationships failed poorly, and it's all rooted from me not having my father around. Like I don't want to point the finger because I know we're all human, but when I started to have a checklist of like what I was doing, what he's done, like to my mom, what I did to my exes, like it was coming hand in hand, you know what I mean? So and honestly, that's the worst thing that hurts, like that I don't like to talk about. Like that's why it had the kind of impact. Like y'all don't get to hear it yet until it's out, but that's why it had the impact that it did, because the absence of my father drove me and my brother apart, in my opinion. And even like when I spoke to my brother's mother and my mom and my grandma, everybody kept saying, well, y'all didn't grow up together. And I feel like part of that is my father's fault. They're probably going to hate me for saying that, but you don't have to keep, you know, your kids away from each other because of your own selfish guilt or your own selfish needs. Like, it just sucks. It sucks really bad because if you talk to him today, he'll be stubborn enough and blame it on my mom. And I'm just like, I'm about to be 24, or by the time y'all see this, I'm 24. And my mom has done nothing but been honest with me about their relationship. And they had me at a young age. My mom was only 20. She told me like what a 20-year-old would do. And I could be mad at her for the moment, but I can't be mad forever. But I can only be upset when a person in the situation is choosing not to take the blame. You know what I mean? Or admit to their faults. Not even taking the blame. I could really give a shit who takes the blame, but it just acknowledge your wrongdoings at one point. But
I had to let go of that, man, because I was the same way. I think up until a couple years ago, I was blaming my dad for everything.
yeah.
But I mean, you're at this age where shit, let's see. He was, I think when my parents divorced, he was 27. So shit, I'm 26. So it was the same age. I'm like around the same age I am now. And I couldn't imagine being married with a kid.
Doesn't that hurt? Like when you start to realize, like, bro, when I turned 20, I was in college and I was like, my mom had me at this age. Like I was going through a lot and I didn't even know how to deal with my emotions. So it's just like, damn, like I could only imagine what was going on. And things were worse because like life was kind of harder because technology wasn't involved. You know what I mean? Like,
fucking
it's disgusting.
Wages weren't high as they are now. Granted, I mean that's a little different because of the whole fucking pandemic, but so that, and I kind of just put myself in his shoes, like, damn, would I've done the same? Could I have done the same? Where was my head at? Maybe the pandemic didn't hit and I was still the shitty person that I was, and like the last relationship didn't fail and I was still doing things like weird. Like maybe I would have been the person that he made a decision. I think that too, I was kind of doing a checklist too as far as what my dad had done to my mom or what he just been doing in general. And it was aligning and I was just like, man, I can't live this life. Like I promised myself when I was younger not to be anything like him. And you're turning out shit, 90% up to that point at 90% of what he's done, and I mean shit had to change, but nah, fire album.
Thanks, man.
Even the fucking July was in there. The sample from July, I caught that
Yeah,
one. That
yeah.
one was fucking hard.
Thanks.
Yeah, that one caught me off guard because I mean I was listening to it. I mean, got the Drake samples, and that was kind of the last one I heard, and then that one jumped in. Even though Drake's still on that song, it was just
It was because we wanted to do From Time so bad, but that every time we sampled it, it was so cheesy
yeah,
or it
yeah,
sounded like a YouTube beat. And we were just like, nah, we can't. And then we flipped it and made it like a rap song, and it was cool, but I already had July finished. And I
yeah.
was just like, nah, just scrap it. Like we can keep July. And it was a beautiful story. I feel like it explained my growth in relationships. Like my toxicity and how bad it had gotten. And I didn't even fully expose myself the way that I planned to because I put the feature on it. Shout out to my girl Namo. I let her rock and get, my ex's perspective, I would
Yep.
like to say. But yeah, that was a good mirror for myself.
How hard is that to kind of take songs off the album? Because I mean, obviously, you want to have your best work. So, how do you pick and choose what's your best work, and how hard is it to like dish songs off?
Something that I'm trying to learn if it's right or wrong, but I let my homies kind of tell me what they want and what they don't, cuz I make music for me, but y'all listen to it. Y'all are the ones that like replay it. So I want to know which one's the replay value. You know what I mean? So like every time people hear language, they're like, bro, that's it. That's that club song.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like, keep that. And then I'll make another song and people are like, it's all right. And if I hear it, I already told myself, take it off.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I can't. And but in the same breath, I did trust myself more with this one because this album was more like a washing my hands with everything. Like washing my hands with the person I used to be, washing my hands with the people I used to work with, washing my hands with the frustration with my father. Like I kind of just want to put everything in a suitcase and ship it away and like not really care what happens afterwards.
No, I feel that, and I think that's the hardest part for people to not just to because I mean, when you do wash these things away, you that's kind of just letting go of these
Yeah.
things that you can't really control, and some of the things you can control. But if you do make the mistakes, I mean, it is what it is at this point. I think that's where my kind of just where my drive comes from. Like I have no kind of regrets when it comes to life, and I think that's
Yeah.
where I catch people off guard sometimes because they know about the shitty things I used to do, and they always tell me like, "Damn, never wish you can done that better, done shit better." And I always say no. I always say no. Like it just it is what it is. I was a shitty person, made some mistakes, but
You learn from it.
learn from it. And
Yeah.
I think I had to do it. Like it's just it sucks to actually say that and to say it on camera and in front of you. And it's just like
Yeah.
it's different than when I think. I mean, you can probably attest to it. Like you've um,
I,
the
I
crazy shit comes and you just realize like fuck.
I've gotten to a point where it's just like, yeah, it was needed because I hate to say it too, but it really shows people's true colors. Like, and this is just me airing out stuff. I literally was talking to this one girl and I did her so dirty and she held me down like crazy. And I saw like how things started to play along and I accepted it. And I feel like after I accepted it and I apologized to her, it was a better connection. You know what I mean? Like not even on like, hey, I want to get back with you, but like you start to see people differently. You know what I mean? Because you added scars on them, but at one point you're like, okay, that scar is because of me. Let me, reevaluate myself and move accordingly. And then they start to see you grow differently and they're like, oh, And they give you like
Yeah.
a certain respect too. And it's crazy. It's weird. I know this is like a really toxic talk, but
No, I'm gonna get more toxic. The thing that I always trips me out too is like when friends or family come to me for relationship advice, and like the other person, girl or boy, are doing like sneaky shit. I can kind
yeah.
of pinpoint why they're doing it,
Oh
like
yeah.
how they're doing it,
No, yeah.
because you've been in that situation, you've
No,
done those
yeah.
things. So that's the even crazier part to even say is like it just comes natural. Like you're just picking shit off the. I used to do this. He's probably gonna do this next. He's probably gonna tell
And
you this,
and
and
you're
it's just
always right, aren't you?
always,
Boy, I
always.
bro, there's this girl that I'm kind of involved with right now. And like she would tell me all this stuff about like certain people and I'd call it and I'm like, nah, this is gonna happen. I want to give it like 2 weeks and this is gonna happen. And it literally plays just like that. I'll tell them like, yo, they're gonna get with such and such in like a month. Nah, they're not. Month pass and they're together. I'm like, bro, I live that life.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
and I kind of, not that I like it, but I feel like I went through it so the people around me don't have to go through it. When I have kids, I can call it and hopefully they're not like stubborn like me and they
Yeah.
don't go through it. But yeah, it's cool to be the toxic friend, I guess. And
Yeah, that's the crazy part too, is because I think there's me. Well, there's three of us that don't have girls. One of them has two kids, and the other two are just single and like just don't have kids. So it's weird that I'm single now with no kids, and everybody else is kind of kids, has
yeah,
girl, wife. So even though I've been in relationships for the past 10 years or previously, it's just weird not to go to these functions and like just be there by himself with
do
no
you feel
kids.
forced
No, not at all.
to like have a kid
Nah,
or
not at all.
like my closest friends, my best friend just found out she's pregnant. My best friend from college, married and a kid on the way. My older cousin like has a 2 year old. Like it's everyone around me has their life together, and I'm over here like house, car, well not a house, but apartment,
Yeah.
car, dog, and I'm like, I'm single.
Yeah. No, not at all. And I think it comes why like they have kids. So I know, not to say that their kids are bad, but like some of them are a little iffy because
It's the karma.
they just wild.
It's
But
the karma.
so I see that, and then I have nieces and nephews that are like just crazy too as well. Like my sister's even wilder, but I get enough
Children
just
experience, yeah,
experience when
and
it comes
yeah.
to that shit. So I'm like, do I really have the routine to kind of jump in a kid at this time? Do I
No.
even really want to be in a relationship? Like there's
Hell
all these
no.
things that come into my mind, and I'm just like, yeah, this is yeah, this can wait.
No, of course. And it's a good time. I feel like we're both at a good age where being selfish is needed for where we want to go. You know what I mean? Like being an artist, bro, I be seeing it's baby season. Have you seen that?
Yes.
Bro, it's baby season for sure. I be seeing a lot of rappers from San Antonio starting to have a kid. I feel like only one of those rappers can make a way around the kid. The other ones, I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, it's wrapping up. I'm sorry. Like, and not in a mean way, but like, if I want you to be a good dad, if I want you to be a good mom, please just hang it up until they're like 3 or 4.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
No, I get you. And see, that's the crazy part too, is because like I was mentioning how my dad was my age around where my parents got divorced. So you kind of just want to live that lifestyle. And what's even crazier is I've had friends, I've had family do have kids or have a relationship at such a young age, and then they get divorced or yeah, so just get divorced, still have kids, but
Yeah.
then they never live that party life. They never lived the life that they wanted to live when they were younger. So they're doing it now at
Yeah.
late 20s, early 30s. And that's the trippy part, because you see these people and you look at these people in their 30s or whatever, and you see them doing their thing, and you kind of have this expectation of, yeah, you're not supposed to be doing that.
It looks manic.
Yes.
It looks
Yes.
very manic. One of my exes, her mom had her at like 15, 16.
Yeah.
Bro, she was so like always trying to get involved with everything we were doing. And I'm like, why? like, stay over there,
She
please.
just,
And
it's just, she
just
never
weird,
experienced it.
I guess. But
Yeah.
like, nah, you gotta find the balance. You gotta
Yeah.
find the balance for sure. Mainly when you have kids.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's weird. That's weird.
The trippy part is when they don't think they're doing what I'm telling them they're doing. And I've
Yeah.
seen it multiple times. Like I said, family, friends, I've seen it multiple times. And I can kind of going back to the experience part, just depicting what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
And it's just seeing shit like that and having people don't think what they're doing is wrong. Not to say that it is wrong or wrong. Like, do your life, do what you got to do. But I can kind of figure out, like, it's probably ain't going to end up well.
Yeah, the outcome is never positive unless they add like a little twist to it. Like, but still,
maybe they promoting the club and like they're getting money off of it or some shit. Like some shit like that, I'll be like, all right, cool.
That's the twist. But 9 times out of 10, it still looks weird. Like, not to like air anybody. I'm not gonna say any names, but one of my homies hit me up about someone that I had like was around, and they were like, "Man, fuck her," and I was like, whoa, like what's going on? And they're like, bro, why is she always trying to be in everybody's business? And she's like fucking 40 years old. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I do understand. Like, I'm not saying fuck her too, but I can understand the frustration because I've been there. Like, sometimes people be so old and everybody else is like younger lives and thinking that brings their youth. And I'm like, nah, it doesn't, man. You kind of seem pitiful.
Yeah.
And I see like my aunt, I'm not saying she's old, but like she's older than me. She gracefully accepted her age and like the lifestyle, you know, the auntie vibes, you know what I mean? Like it's ways to make it look cool. Like we're not saying like, don't be on TikTok, don't be in the clubs, but
see, the crazy part about that too is like, there's people that are on TikTok and that are 40, 50, 60 years old that have 5-10 million followers that are doing their thing. And I'm just like, fuck, imagine being that old and making it at 50 years old, 60 years old. And
that
like,
just means you can't stop.
Yeah.
Like you can't stop. Like if you really have the aspirations to make it, like I tell everybody around me, I always say like, bro, I'm gonna make it no matter what. Like, I don't care what extent I have to go to make it. I'm going to make it because I know I have a lot of people behind me that depends on me. So like I admire those, you know, older people that do that, but do it gracefully. like you don't have to be doing the renegade. Well, okay, I'm not gonna say they don't have to be doing the renegade, but I'm saying like trying to keep up with the friendly kid trends. That's kind of weird to me.
It's kind of weird too. Yeah.
It's kind of weird. Like, what's that lady? She has curly hair. It's a black lady. Is it Tim? No. I have to find her Instagram, but she would make like vegan food and like talk to you, and everybody in her comment section says like, oh, she gives really good mom vibes. Like it's the mother that I never had, or I feel like I just got a hug from my mom. Like it's cool ways to do things like that. But
it's same thing. You just got to embrace, like you got to put your twist on it. So the food shit is huge, obviously, because everybody can relate to it. Food kind of has
everybody eats.
Yeah, everybody eats. Everybody gets a certain feeling when you eat certain food. So that's the cool part. The other thing that I've obviously dancing is not in there. Like it's more funny than weird, if you ask me. But I'm trying to figure out what else the food that I've seen. I've seen shaving. I've seen dudes shaving.
Oh, yeah.
So that's probably a huge one that I've seen. So guys that are like 40, 50 years old, fucking just all he does is ASMR shaving things and like.
That's a thing?
Yeah, that's a thing.
Shaving?
Yeah.
People like the. That's
and
a
he has like
noise.
fucking 6 million followers on TikTok. And that's all he does is just, he has like not a barbershop, just a shave shop.
That's cool.
And just a sweet. So shit like that, like embracing shit that people might kind of
enjoy on a daily basis. Yeah.
But the other thing I wanted to touch on is a time thing. Like when you go into your craft, you got to really, really be down with patience and time, because there's only a certain amount of, not a certain amount, but there's like, you got to figure out one, you got to have, what's right. You got to have deadlines, goals. You got to have certain shit in place because there's only, yeah, there's so much time you have, but it can go by so fast. It can go by so fast. And I think that's where the 10 years comes from being in a relationship is like, I mean, I remember mostly everything. Some of the shit I don't remember, but
Yeah.
mostly everything. But it's just like I remember what I was doing when I was 15 years old, which is totally wild.
No, of course. Like I've told a lot of people that have been around me and see that I've been involved with this one girl, and they're like, "Bro, get in a relationship with her." And I'm like, "No." And they're like, "Why not?" And it's like, "Bro, I've been in relationships over and over again. I need to figure me out." You know
Yeah.
what I mean? No disrespect to her. I have mad love for her, and she respects it. Like she's heard everything that I've done, everything that I've been through, and she's like, "Yeah, you do need that time
Yeah.
to yourself." And again, like with my craft, like I feel like I've lost so much time creating havoc in relationships or havoc or trauma, in relationships that I didn't even get to live life and create through it. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's another reason why I'm so comfortable making music about girls is because I've spent so long like being in relationships. I know girls in and out. Like I can call an argument and all that stuff, but I don't know how to be vulnerable and talk about what I'm actually going through. Like daddy's little girl, like it was a literal like fuck it moment because I didn't know how to keep digging deeper, in my personal life.
Yeah, the ending of that song, I mean, you say fuck it, and you shut the door, and then you kind of have I'm not too sure on who's coming after you, but uh yeah, I can definitely see that. But whole album's fire. I mean, I know there might be a little bit switches as far as the songs or the songs that you sent me. Are those all the?
Those are all the ones. Those are the final songs. They're just being revamped.
Gotcha.
They're being revamped. We can tie it on to what we were talking about timing. I was horrible on timing. I learned from it. I learned that I am going to start recording myself and learn how to mix and master shit myself because you can't always depend on other people.
No, 100%. It gets expensive too. I'll tell you that.
It gets expensive, and like you said, with deadlines, a lot of people don't respect deadlines. So yeah.
Plus, you figure out not to kind of go into. Plus, you figure out like how long actually shit takes.
Yeah, I've always known how long things took because I grew up. My godfather was a producer, engineer, and things like that.
Gotcha.
So I always grew up in a studio, so I know things take time, but I also know how long it takes when you keep procrastinating.
Yeah.
So not saying like I wasn't procrastinating because life happened. I was procrastinating too, but yeah, you got to keep the right people around you that A is on your ass when you're procrastinating and B can acknowledge when they're procrastinating and get the fuck up and get things finished. So
100%. 100%.
no slugs though. I love everybody.
Shit, Ja. Anything you want to plug? Anything you want to say before we get up out of here?
By the time you saw this, I dropped the song Telephone. The music video's out. It's on all DSPs. That's on Sunday. Wednesday, I dropped my favorite music video, PTSD. Shout out Trent Owens. Thank you so much for making that as beautiful as it is. Again, that's dropping on all DSPs, music video on YouTube and Instagram. A-Talk, and That's Okay, dropping September 24th, Thursday night, midnight, Friday morning. Yeah, and all I gotta say is I'm not taking a break no more. I'm not making excuses, I promise.
Hell yeah. No, I appreciate that. And I appreciate you coming by. I first want to say that, man, kind of seeing this time and going through the I guess the social media and just keeping up is it's been a crazy time with you because I've seen you grow for sure.
Thanks.
And that's on a personal level because I've seen what it takes to actually make music from your side, but also too like that downtime was definitely needed because I mean this album shows the type of shit you can do. Like I'll be the first one to tell you like this is music that I can actually bump to in the car.
Thanks.
I'll be dead honest.
That was the goal because
Yeah.
I feel like I keep telling myself like, can you hear this?
Yeah.
over there, like,
Yeah.
and just insert location.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to make sure people that didn't fuck with me in the beginning, they're gonna fuck with me now. I know that for sure.
Yeah.
Like, I told a lot of my peoples, if this ain't the one that makes me blow, this is the one that puts the spotlight on me for a long time, because everybody underestimated that. Oh, you can only talk about relationships. No, fuck that. A nigga can rap, bro. Stop playing with me. Like, I've dropped so many songs where I'm rapping and everybody's like, yeah, she still makes girl songs.
Yeah.
Like, nah, I don't.
100%. Nah, appreciate you again. September 24th, and it's okay. I'm going to co-sign everything. Obviously, it's going to be on the actual podcast platform.
Yeah.
In the description, in my IG stories, on Instagram posts. Even on my personal one, I'm going to blow it up too, because on a personal level, that kind of just is what I'm rocking with on September 24th.
Hey.
One more time, Ja, again, before, happy birthday.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Thank you.
because this is going to drop on September 24th, or maybe before that, so happy birthday. And
Thanks.
yeah, we out here, guys. Peace.